Celtics lead the series 3-2. Game 5, they took care of business 96-83. And this reminded me of one of those games from the 90s where guys were just like fighting each other. They were being tough defensive minded, and it was an ugly game, honestly. Celtics shot like 30 something 36%, and the Cavs shot 41%. And from three, the Cavs shot 25%, and the Celtics shot like 30 something percent. So this was a grinded out game. Basically, the Celtics won the game in the first quarter, put up 32 points, and basically never looked back. Outscored the Cavs again in the third, and that was all she wrote. Cavs gonna get contributions from anybody, including their starting backcourt. J.R. Smith and George Hill combined for 9 points. J.R. Smith 0 for 4 from 3. And speaking of the 3, Cavs only hit 9. They went 9 for 34. LeBron James 1 for 6 from 3. Clarkson 2 for 7 from 3. They should just, I don't know if they should abandon the 3, but they shouldn't be so heavily relying on it. And it just made no sense. Nobody played really well. LeBron played a decent game, but he had a bunch of turnovers. He had 6 turnovers. Cavs had 15 turnovers overall. You're not going to win a game giving up double-digit turnovers. You saw that in the Golden State game 4. They had double-digit turnovers. It didn't work out for them. Kevin Love had 14 points. Where's Kevin Love in this series? And what's so concerning to me is this is basically a series of the home team winning every single game. So if that continues the trend, Celtics are going to the NBA Finals. And it sounds crazy to say, but that's what's exactly going to happen. No team between these two can play well on the road. It just makes no sense. What the contributions that the guys that give you at home, they can't translate that on the road. I don't know if it's the crowd. I don't know if it's a psychological factor. Both of these teams can't play on the road. And you would think the Cavs have more veteran players. They could get guys to transmute their game from home to the road. It doesn't happen. They absolutely get no production from nobody else. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at some of these players. Tristan Thompson, 1 point. George Hill, 7 points. Like, J.R. Smith, 2 points. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? And then when you look at the opposite role, when you look at the Celtics, I hope 15. Jayson Tatum, 24. Jaylen Brown, 17. Like, it's balanced scoring. Marcus Morris coming off the bench, 13. You have Marcus Smart, 13. Like, you have balanced scoring. The Cavs just can't get that on the road. And same thing for the Celtics. Celtics always get off to these slow starts. So Game 6 for the Cavs is pivotal. They cannot allow themselves to get too emotional, because what's gonna happen is, at first it might seem like the Cavs, aren't getting their way, because that's for some reason with the referees. Whenever they know there's a pivotal game, for some reason I noticed this, especially with all in the past 5 years, they always do one of two things. Number one, they call the game really tight in favor of the home team to give them some kind of advantage, or they do the opposite. And I'm worried that Game 6, the referees are going to do the opposite and basically call the game a little bit more in the Celtics' favor. They'll say something to the effect, well, Celtics are being the aggressor, this, that, and the third. But if you watch some of the games in Cleveland in the series, there are times when Celtics are the aggressor and they don't get the calls. So that's what I'm worried about for the Cavs in Game 6, where referees might let a few things go in the Celtics' favor, and then they have a meltdown, and then guys start getting tight with the jumper, like J.R. Smith, guys like George Hill, or vice versa. It can happen to the Celtics. Of course, this is more likely to happen to the Celtics, but this is what I feel like. I feel like referees might call things in the Cavs' favor a little bit, and they have to overcome. So all that pressure of winning a Game 6 at home, that's going to mount on LeBron James, of course, but he always steps up to the pressure. He just, for the most part, he always does. Most superstars do. But here's the thing. Do the other role players do? Because now you're going back home, but it almost feels like a road game, because it's win or go home, and you're already home. And so it's double the amount of pressure, so to speak. So this is Game 6 is a pivotal game. The way it's looking, Celtics do have the advantage. I picked the Cavs in 6, but of course my pick is gonna be wrong. So the way it's looking though, it looks like the Celtics could possibly get to the NBA Finals. I mean, Game 7, if they were to play it in Boston, I just don't see Clarkson, Korver, these guys giving you big minutes. Korver, look at Korver, 2 for 5 from three, 2 for 6 overall. He has 7 points. It's not gonna get it done. You go back to Boston and play Game 7, you're gonna be in huge trouble because they're gonna go off. They're gonna blitz the Cavs right away. They're gonna blitz them right away, and it's you gotta understand it takes more than one person to beat the whole entire team. It takes the entire team. So if the team can't get off the mat, the Cavs are done. So Game 6, look for it to be an epic one because will the Celtics show their maturity? Will the Celtics close out the Cavs in the queue? Or will the Cavs live to fight another day, win Game 6, and try to go into Boston to win Game 7? So these are all the things we got to watch out for. You know, the physicality, that's playing a part as well. Celtics are getting really, really physical with the King. And if you notice in the game, he was very tired. And honestly, that's a product of himself because he chose to play all 82 games, which he hasn't done since earlier in his career, if ever. He chose to play all 82 games. Then he's logging big minutes in the playoffs. And him trying to solidify himself as the GOAT basically wiped out his energy for the playoffs. He's doing too much. He's dribbling too much at the top of the key. Everything's at the top of the key. He's shooting a bunch of jumpers instead of getting easy buckets. And now it's rearing its ugly head. So these are things to watch out for. These are things to watch out for. But, everything you do comes with a price. And I really feel like when the trade came about, or whatever the case was, everybody was like, oh, I feel like the Cavs are better. I feel like they're a better team. I didn't feel that way because I felt like they lost a lot of their veteran presence. And I felt like the reason the team was struggling was just due to the simple fact that, A, Isaiah Thomas wasn't 100% healthy. And B, they just didn't give the team time enough to gel and run plays. Because with a veteran team like that, you have to run sets. You can't just give the ball to LeBron James at the top of the key and make guys spot up shooters. They had better defenders than Jay Crowder, better spot up shooters than Jay Crowder. They still had Korver. They still had a great nucleus. So, and it's crazy because you read what you saw. You lose Kyrie. Kyrie's not even playing, and now you're looking at yourself down 3-2 to a team that Kyrie was traded to, and Kyrie didn't even play. So imagine if Kyrie was playing, would we be looking at like, 4-1 series where the Celtics beat them? Because I'm pretty sure Kyrie on that team, they win games in Cleveland. But if the trend continues, it looks like we might get a Game 7. I'm just curious to see, will the young guys step up? Will they step up on the road? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a Game 7, and we're going to see the best of both teams finally in that Game 7. But it's not looking good for the Cavs. Because if they go to a Game 7 playing like this, they're going to lose by 20. And for the first time in about 8 years, we won't see LeBron James in NBA Finals.